Respected dear family members, very recently I happened to read an excellent news in a Malayalam newspaper, Malayalam Manorama, in which it has been mentioned about the documentary picture made by BBC and displayed in many countries for denigrating India and belittling India, that too in the name of the freedom of the press and freedom of expression. And you may be remembering that in North Indian channels, particularly Times Now, headlines today, NDTV 24/7, headlines to CNN, IBN, news and so on, the channels reacted sharply when an Indian, Subhash Bhai Patel was harassed by American white police on racial discrimination, and he was even beaten and had a very serious bone injury, and it took place, I think, in Alabama in America, when some of the Christian churches were attacked by the thieves for stealing their materials in Delhi. You know, Kerala bishops, Kerala cardinals, Kerala Christians, through their English publications in America, they protested very seriously against the Modi government, and they declared in super titles that Modi and RSS are butchering Christians and the minorities are suffering a lot in India, and they requested American president to control India. Just like I am telling bad about my father to somebody's father and requesting somebody's father to protect me from my father. Just like that, Kerala Christians and Kerala Christian priest-guided Indian Christians, they requested and sent a mass signed memorandum to American president, and as a result of that, American president severely criticized Modi government and instructed that religious freedom should be maintained in India. American president has never sent any letter to Pakistan. American president has never sent any letter for protecting the Christians in Iraq, Iran, Afghanistan, Syria, or Turkey, or anywhere. He instructed because of the screwing of Kerala Christians to protect Indian Christians from the atrocities of the BJP and RSS. Even though the whole thing happened by the social discrepancy. But after that, when this old Indian man, Subhash Bhai Patel, was attacked in America, all our North Indian channels reacted sharply and sharply criticized Omaba. Instead of criticizing India, you should first rectify your problem in America. The racial discrimination going on right from 2000 AD for the last 15 years. Arnab Goswami and Hardeshai and all of them quoted one by one and sharply reacted against American president, and in fact told and declared and instructed him that you should first purify your community, your country, before criticizing India. So we could give in the same coin the reply to American president and American journalists and American media about Indian freedom and Indian freedom of expression and the press. Exactly like that, when BBC produced India's daughter or Indian daughter or something like that, and through that documentary demonstrated throughout the world that in India girls are tortured for sexual activities, and so many negatives are taking place against women in India, and that type of small documentary created such a hue and cry in India and outside. But majority of Indian newspapers, particularly Kerala newspapers, supported the freedom of the expression and freedom of the press, and they justified BBC's making such a documentary. But nobody could sharply react and take serious action against playing such a documentary outside India. But the most noble revenge has been created by one Harvinder Singh in London. And he has mentioned that in Britain 10% this type of atrocities are taking place against the women and the girls, and not even 1% undergoes the trial or police action. And in India, once in a while or once in a month, sometimes it will be happening, and everything is to be booked by the police, and the court has taken very serious action, whereas in Britain the atrocities against women, for which Britain stands in the 5th position in the world, and every day 233 such type of atrocities are taking place, sexual atrocities are taking place in England, and not even a small party is used to be reported to the police station. All these details Harvinder Singh has included in that documentary, and he has presented it to the public. This is the most interesting, noble way of reacting what is happening in England and what is happening in India, and how the developed countries, with the support of Indian Christians, how the developed countries with the support of Indian Christian, when I say not everybody, particularly churchianity, the bishops, the cardinals and the priest. Common man never used to bother about such things. Common Christians are not bothered about such things. The top Christians, particularly the priests, they screw the developed country leaders and get India belittled by them. But the true picture is shown by Harvinder Singh. What is happening in America, that is shown by the 5 English media of North India. What is happening in UK has been shown directly by Harvinder Singh in his documentary picture. Now, if any negatives happening against India, if the action and the reaction is systematically streamlined and demonstrated to the public, then naturally India can, the people who in the name of freedom of press and freedom of expression target against India, can be suitably replied or answered, or can be conducted tit for tat. Now you see, in 2000 AD, when Pope came to India, and during Deepavali day, when Atal Bihari Vajpayee was the Prime Minister of India, he declared in Talkatora Stadium to 4,000 bishops of India that in the first millennia, England and Europe could be converted into Christianity. In the second millennia, America and Africa could be completely converted into Christianity. In the third millennia, India and China and other Asian countries should be converted into Christianity. That is the ultimate goal set by the Christianity, different branches of recensions of Christianity. And at that time, RSS and BJP declared that the Pope should apologize for the atrocities done by Saint Francis Xavier through Inquisition in Goa and from there up to Sri Lanka, and killing more than 4,000 Hindus who were resisting their conversion into Christianity, and destroying more than 1,410 temples and urinating on the idols of these temples. This is done by Francis Xavier, and he was sanctified by the Vatican. Against this, RSS and BJP shouted and conducted demonstrations, protesting demonstrations. Unfortunately, the Congress and all other political parties except BJP, they were opposing BJP and welcoming Pope. Why it happened? Exclusively because Indians do not know what Francis Xavier did in India. His Inquisition and most horrible way of killing and torturing and burning and hanging and piercing the Hindu bodies into pieces in the name of killing the non-Christians, as given in the Bible. As given in the Bible. I am repeating the word, as given in the Bible. They were doing and sending letters to Pope saying that when they did, particularly Saint Francis Xavier wrote the letter to Pope, when he was doing like this, his mind was thrilling with the pleasure and happiness that he is doing something as instructed in the Holy Book. So when the protest came against Saint Francis Xavier, and RSS and BJP people requested apology from the Pope, the people were reluctant to follow that, exclusively because nobody in India was aware about the atrocities done by Saint Francis Xavier. So whenever people are doing something correctly, protecting India, protecting Sanatana Dharma, protecting Indian values, instead of telling something here and there by people like Togadia or Subramanya Swami or some of the saffron wearers, sannyasis, or some RSS leaders, when they say something, solid proof should be circulated sufficiently earlier so that an awareness should be created. If the true picture of Mother Teresa would have shown to the people how she has confiscated or grabbed Calcutta Kali temple land, and what are the CDs, video CDs and audio CDs produced by her group for tarnishing Hindu Dharma, and also how she converted, her group is converting Hindus in the name of serving the people, how a Hindu Brahmin got converted into her group and she became the supremo of the charity society of Mother Teresa. How it happened? All these things, if it would have brought to the notice of the public in the correct time, and after creating such an awareness in the mind of Hindus, if somebody, Togadia or Subramanya Swami or Sarsanga Jalak or anybody would have clearly made the statement, then the reaction would be so simple. Fact is fact, truth is truth, essence is essence. Now what is happening? Here and there, some people are telling something and the media is almost always against BJP and RSS. The intellectuals and the leftists know how to make a hue and a cry about it, and just like the Congress now waste the time of the Parliament in criticizing the Home Ministry for a police assistant constable conducting an inquiry about the next king of India, the Yuva Raja of India, Rahul Gandhi. Where he has gone, nobody knows. So at least for searching where he has gone, the police might have taken a survey like what is the color of Rahul Gandhi's hair, who is the real father of Rahul Gandhi, who is the mother of Rahul Gandhi, what is the initial of Rahul Gandhi, and what is the length of his foot, what is the type of chappal he used to wear, All these questions might have asked. This is becoming a serious issue when the things are not properly subjected to homework. Otherwise, people will understand what is happening really and why it is happening, how it is happening, how they should react. These information should be circulated and people should be taught sufficiently earlier before somebody declares something in the nook and corner of India, like the bad way Togadia presents. Or sometimes, very recently Subramania Swami also presented something in Assam. These are all problem creators instead of problem solvers. If problem solving is the ultimate aim, the pathway of Christians and Muslims should be studied. How silently they are doing the things. Whatever happen, the world will be supporting Indian Christians and Indian Muslims. These Christians should be taught the lesson what is happening for their churches in Pakistan, in Lahore, in Rawalpindi, how the Christians are treated in Syria, in Afghanistan, in Iran, in Iraq. All these things should be correctly taught to them. And also remember that how the Christians killed millions and millions of Jews, how the Christians and Muslims fought each other for 1,000-year war. And remember that all these three, the Christianity is sprouted from Jews. So the Old Testament is the holy book for the Jews. Old Testament itself is the holy book for Christians and Muslims. The Islamic and the Christianity are the offshoots of Jews. The three Semitic religion, how they killed, butchered, slaughtered each other, should be taught to the Kerala Christians. When I use the word Kerala Christians, not all the Christians, 97% of Kerala Christians are very normal, very simple. They know that their forefathers belong to Hindu community. They respect Hinduism, whereas for keeping them away from the mainstream, the Christian church and the churchianity do everything for projecting bad work against India world over and also all over India, thus getting the support of the rightist and leftist, isolating the Middle East people, BJP and RSS. The truth is covered. And intentionally Congress and the leftist party think that minority vote will be helping them, even though 82% of the majority vote got denigrated or discarded. The minimum mathematics tell the information you that what happened, what is happening for the Marxist party in Bengal, what is happening for the Marxist party and Communist party in other parts of India, what is happening to them in Kerala. These are the lessons of denigrating Hindu Dharma, Indian culture, Indian values, Indian cultural Hindu-based values. When they denigrated major part of the Hindus, when they get awareness about their own religion, they react sharply against the Communist Party. Same thing is happening for the Congress also. They protect the minority at the expense of majority and denigrate majority, and they label, both of them label that Hindu means BJP. How can it be? Majority of the Congress members are Hindus, majority of other party members are Hindus, but whenever the word Hindu is used, they think that and they want to declare it as BJP or RSS. Such way of denigration has created problem for the Congress, has created problem for the Communist Party, and has created problem for other parties. The result could be seen in the last Lok Sabha election. Result could indirectly be seen in the assembly election of many states in India. Still, these people, including the Christians and Muslims, are not learning the lessons to the sufficient extent of identifying, understanding that denigrating the Hindus will be received as the reaction from that community, will be suitably punished. What could be seen now is the reaction and the result of those type of denigration of the Hindus. I am sure that Harvinder Singh's method of producing UK's daughter, that way of retaliation is the best method. Anybody denigrating Hindus, use the same coin for reacting back and do everything silently. Internally violent change should take place, externally silent change should take place. Internally revolutionary change should take place, externally evolutionary change should take place. Then only we the Hindus can protect themselves and their culture, instead of shouting here and there by some of the RSS or VHP leaders. That will only be creating problem, and instead of that, silently underground work will be the suitable way of spreading the good message through Satyam, Dharmam, Niti and Nyayam. Thank you very much. My pranams to you.